All right, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes SWGOH farming guide. Today we're actually going to go into a little bit more detail about the Pheonix squad. As you can see here, right here, we're going to have the Pheonix squadron with Kanan Jarrus, Ezra Bridger, Zeb, Hera, and Chopper. Now this team is going to be used, like I said in my last video, to get Emperor Palpatine and Grand Admiral Thrawn, which are going to be needed for getting R2-D2, which is going to be needed for CLS. So let's get started talking about these guys and what their kits do and what they do overall. So first we're going to go over your leader here, which is going to be Hera. All right, her first ability is called Outwit. All right, that's going to be her basic attack. And here her last part of that is going to be deal physical damage to target enemy. If that enemy was the healthiest enemy, also expose them for 1 turn. So while you're in the game, it'll actually show you who the healthiest player is, and you can use her to get expose up, which is a great mechanic, very powerful mechanic that you're going to want to use. Her first special is going to be Play to Strengths. And this is going to just kind of call another Pheonix or another ally, really, just to assist. But in this case, we're going to use her as for another Pheonix squad member. So this is her Zeta. Okay. Call another target ally to assist. That ally's attack has plus 50% potency and deals 35% more damage. If target ally is Pheonix, if it's in Pheonix squadron, dispel all debuffs on them, reduce their cooldowns by 1, and grant them 50% turn meter. That is huge. Now, if you don't have the Zeta yet, she's going to have call another target ally to assist. That ally's attack has plus 25% potency and deals 35% more damage. So you don't get the additional thing for the Pheonix squadron, where it dispels all debuffs and reduces their cooldowns by 1 and grants them 50% turn meter, making this team extremely fast, which is really good, like I said earlier, for players starting out under 75, even getting into 80s, in order to use these abilities and these characters in the early game. Now, you've got Backup Plan, which is her next special, and this is only an Omega. So there's only 1 Zeta on there, just 1. And on this, target other ally gains the Backup Plan buff for 3 turns. And what Backup Plan does is essentially is going to revive that character if they die. So it recovers 10% health per turn, revive with 80% health. So if they die, they revive with 80% health, and 30% turn meter when defeated. So when they're defeated, they revive with 80% health and 30% turn meter. Can't be dispelled or prevented. Now, the only thing with that is if you have a character, if you're going up against a character like Darth Nihilus, who has Annihilate, and they have that ability maxed out, so Omega'd, then in that case, they will not revive. And what's an Omega? This is an Omega mat. This is a Zeta mat. So these are just ability mats that are used, as you know, to level up abilities. All right, Rise Together, and this is going to be her last part, and this is her leadership. She's very, very important for the leadership of the Pheonix, but each active Pheonix ally grants their unique ability to other Pheonix allies. In addition, whenever a Pheonix ally uses a special ability, they gain 20% turn meter if Hera is active. This effect is doubled for Pheonix allies with less than full health. So she is really, really great in the leadership position. The great thing is that she's going to spread around the entire Pheonix squad's abilities. So it's just fantastic. So let's go to the next character here, and that is going to be Kanan Jarrus. Kanan Jarrus basic is called Disarming Strike, and it is an Omega ability. So this is going to deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict offense down until the start of Kanan's next turn. If this attack scores a critical hit, this effect can't be resisted. This ability gains plus 15% critical hit chance for each ally under full health. So there's a lot of stuff there. All right, his first special is going to be called Intervene. It is another Omega. Deal physical damage to target enemy and taunt for 2 turns. Then dispel all debuffs on another target ally. While Kanan has this taunt buff, his tenacity is doubled, which is fantastic. Survivability of this team is just crazy. Total defense. Now, this is going to be his Omega. Each of the Pheonix Squadrons have characters have one Omega for the most part. So dispel all debuffs on Pheonix allies and grant them defense up for 3 turns. Kanan grants himself and another target ally foresight and protection up 40% for 2 turns. When each of these foresights expire, Kanan gains 100% turn meter, and other Pheonix allies gain 50% turn meter. Again, these guys are all about the turn meter, all about being extremely fast and being able to defeat your opponents as quickly as possible, and they're really, really survivable. So if you want to put Zetas on them, yes, I don't recommend them being the first Zetas, but their Zetas are great for this team. Kanan dispels all debuffs, so if you don't get him to his Zeta yet, Kanan is going to dispel all debuffs from himself, then grants himself and another target ally protection up for 40% for 2 turns. So obviously you're getting a lot there with having that maxed out. Now all of them, you're going to want their uniques, their last uniques on all these Pheonix Squadron characters maxed out. The reason why is because of Hera's leadership ability. All this stuff is going to get spread around for each one of the Pheonix Squadron. So for Kanan, again, it's another Omega ability, which are those yellow mats. Kanan has 70% counter chance and recovers 25% health whenever he suffers a debuff. So if Hera's in the leadership position and you have other Pheonix Squadron characters on that team, Kanan and all Pheonix Squadron characters are going to have 70% counter chance and recover 25% health whenever they suffer a debuff. That's fantastic. All right, let's keep it moving. We'll get to Sabine here in a minute. I want to come back to her. All right, Ezra Bridger. Ezra Bridger, absolutely, this is one that you're going to want to Zeta. He's used in a lot of teams and get him maxed out as soon as possible. So here we go. His Omega for his basic, that's those yellow ability mats again, is going to be deal physical damage to target enemy with a 40% chance to attack again. If Ezra has no debuffs, the chance is doubled. So he's going to be a great attacker for the Pheonix Squadron. All right, he's also Jedi, so he's got 2 tags there and a 3rd tag with Rebel. So Jedi, Rebel, Pheonix, Attacker. So he's really got 3 tags he can be used in a Rebel team, he can use in the Pheonix team, and on Jedi teams. All right, so this is his first special. It's called Flourish. This is his Zeta. So deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all debuffs on them. If the enemy had no debuffs, this attack's cooldown is reduced by 1, and Ezra gains 75% turn meter instead. Ezra gains defense up for 2 turns. So again, survivability there, being really fast, putting up that turn meter. This is what this team is going to do. Before you get the Zeta, it's going to be deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all buffs on them. If the enemy had no buffs, this attack's cooldown is still reduced by 1%, and Ezra gains 50% turn meter instead of the 75% turn meter. All right, Watch and Learn is his second special, which is going to be target ally attacks, and then Ezra assists them, dealing 20% more damage. Both attackers gain a bonus effect based on the chosen ally's roll. So he's going to call someone to assist, and Ezra's going to go in and attack with his basic, which gives him the ability to actually attack twice. So you can get 3 hits on a character with this particular ability. Now let's go look at what he gives everyone else. So attackers, he's going to give plus 100% crit for this attack. Tanks, protection up 40% for 2 turns. Support's going to get plus 40% turn meter gain. So you have characters like Hera, which are going to get that turn meter, who she can also call another person to assist. And she can put on expose. So if it's the highest health character that you're going up against, then she's going to also put expose on them. Alright, push through is going to be his unique. Again, this is going to be shared with the entire squad if you're using this team together. So Ezra gains 10% offense at the end of his turn. This effect can stack up to 40%. This bonus is reset when Ezra is defeated. Alright, so moving on, we've got Chopper. And Chopper is going to be a support. So remember, Ezra can call him, and he's going to gain turn meter. All right. He also is going to have Rebel, Pheonix, and Droid tags. So he also has 3 tags. But let's go to his basic ability, which is Reckless Fling. And if you've ever seen the Rebels animated series, he throws rocks quite a bit, so this goes right along with the character. But his Omega is going to be deal physical damage to target enemy and grant a random Pheonix or droid ally. Ooh. Offense up, defense up, or speed up at random for 2 turns, with a 60% chance to also reduce that ally's cooldown by 1. That's awesome. So you can reduce all allies' cooldowns by 1. Well, that particular one, and give them a buff. So he's very, very good for support. All right, we've got his first special, which is an Omega. I haven't Omega'd it yet, but Chopper gains taunt for 1 turn. While he has this taunt buff, Chopper gains 30% evasion, which is going to be that kind of like dodge thing if you see it. Or evaded, whatever. But when you try to go attack someone, and it's just going to be like dodge, dodge, dodge. That's that evasion there. Metal Menace is also an Omega. All right, so he's going to dispel all buffs on target enemy. For each buff dispelled this way, all enemies lose 10% turn meter, and Chopper gains 25% protection. Droid targets are also stunned for 1 turn, which can't be evaded. Removing turn meter is great. Having those people lose that turn meter is fantastic. He's going to gain some protection, which is great. And then he can stun. If it's a droid, he can stun it for 1 turn, which can't be evaded. So another fantastic ability there with that special. Now his unique. His unique is at the start of his turn, Chopper recovers 15% of his max health. Now remember, this is going to be shared with other Pheonix, only the Pheonix squad, if you're only the Pheonix characters, if you're using Hera. In addition, whenever he is damaged by an attack, he gains protection up 15%. If he doesn't have protection up, additionally, Chopper has a 30% chance to assist when another Pheonix or droid ally uses an ability during their turn. This assist is not shared with Pheonix allies. So the assist doesn't happen. So if he doesn't already have protection up, he's going to have a 30% chance to assist whenever a Pheonix or droid ally uses their ability. Again, another great character, great character. He actually does not have an Omega. A Zeta. They're all Omega abilities, which is really nice. Moving on, we've got Zeb. So Zeb is going to be 2 tags, Rebel and Pheonix. He happens to also be a tank. Yes, he is very tanky. Earlier on in the game, I had Zeb taking out teams by himself, which is great. Obviously, you can't do that now that I'm closer into the end game. But let's start off with this basic Bash. Deal physical damage to target enemy and daze them for 2 turns. That enemy, if that enemy was already dazed, staggered, or exposed, they are stunned for 1 turn instead. This attack deals 30% more damage to debuffed enemies. So he's going to do a lot of damage. Staggering Sweep. Now, this is his Zeta ability. Deal physical damage to target enemy and stagger them for 1 turn. Zeb gains 10% turn meter for each active Pheonix ally. 10% for each active Pheonix ally. So you should be able to get, I believe, about additional 40% stacking. I can't remember if it counts him as well. If it counts him as well, that's 50% turn meter for each of those Pheonix allies. It says ally, so it should be the other 4. So 40%, max of 40% turn meter. If the target has no debuffs, this attack can't be resisted. Deals double damage and deals bonus damage equal to 20% of the enemy's max health. If the target has any buffs, ignore their armor. If the target has any debuffs, this attack has 50% critical damage. This attack can't be evaded. So again, this Pheonix Squadron is going to be all about turn meter. That's what they're about. That's what this Pheonix team is going to do. And that's what they're going to be best at. All right, Honor Guard. Another Omega ability. Zeb and target ally gain protection up, so 50%. For 2 turns, both gain tenacity up for 2 turns if they have no debuffs. And retribution for 2 turns if they do. So if they don't have any debuffs, they're going to get tenacity up, which helps you avoid debuffs. If they do have debuffs, they're going to get retribution, which, with the crazy countering already going on with Kanan, that is absolutely nuts. Now, let's go to Sabine, which I am currently working on. And if you looked at my previous video, I highly recommend using your hard node refresh, doing your hard node battles on Sabine early in the game. I wish I would have, because now I'm like behind the 8 ball. She's used for a ship, as you can see down there at the bottom. And once you get into where I'm at, you're going to really want to use Ezra somewhere else and not in this Pheonix Squadron, this Pheonix team. So you put Sabine in because she's another attacker. Let's go over her kit. And obviously I'm only at level 3 on all of her things, so we're going to skip ahead to 8. So Omegas. So deal physical damage to target enemy twice. This attack scores an additional hit for each of the following if the target has less than 70% turn meter, has less than 30% turn meter. The target is debuffed. Hits after the first deal 75% less damage. Okay. Dark Saber Strike. So if you don't know the lore behind the Dark Saber, the Dark Saber was a saber that was forged by a Mandalorian, the first Mandalorian Jedi. But this is going to deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict armor shred for the rest of the battle. Now, armor shred is a cool mechanic because it literally shreds their armor and makes them more vulnerable as you're attacking them throughout the battle. It's great. Going on to Demolish. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Stagger them for 2 turns. And this is going to be... this should be her Zeta. Stagger enemies for 2 turns and expose target enemy for 2 turns. For each active Pheonix ally, deal plus 15% more damage and expose a random enemy. Pheonix allies gain critical chance up and offense up for 2 turns. If this attack scores a critical hit, reduce Sabine's cooldowns by 2. That's huge. This attack can't be countered or evaded. Also pretty big there. Alright, and then her unique, Sabine has plus 25% critical chance and plus 25% critical damage, which gets spread around for the entire Pheonix Squadron. Pheonix Squad if she's under the leadership of Hera. So, that is going to be it, I believe. I guess I can show you some gameplay real quick, possibly. Maybe. Here, let's go into mod challenges, and we're just going to do a quick mod challenge here. And we're going to do the Pheonix squad. Alright, here we go. So, just so you can see how the kit works, these kits work, as you can see, the other team started off right off the bat. So what we're going to do here is start with Flourish, and this is going to deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all buffs on them, which this one doesn't have any. So what's going to end up happening is Ezra's going to gain 50% turn meter. So let's slow this down, and so you can see the turn meter get gained here. Look at that. Oh, and Chopper assisted, and look at that. The turn meter goes immediately up. All right. Now, again, here we go. This is going to be her actual Zeta, so we're not going to get the additional buffs on this, but we're still going to call a different ally. And in this case, we're going to call Zeta. So he's stunned because there's already a buff on there. Oh my gosh, one-time speed is horrendous. But here we go. And Staggering Sweep. And let's just finish him off here. We're going to go through the rest of this fairly quickly. We're going to call someone to assist. We're going to call Hera to assist. So she's going to gain turn meter. Look at that. 3 people there. 3 people attacked. Alright. Let's gain some turn meter. There we go. Got a daze. Look at that. Counterattack. And here we go. Done. Alright. We're going to get rid of him first. Here we go. I'm going to do the expose mechanic here soon with Hera. Alright, we're going to call Hera to assist right here. I believe that's the healthiest. Oh, that was quick. Alright, and she's going to call Zeb. Nothing there. You can see how this team is. They're very, very good. Very powerful team. You definitely want to go ahead and farm these characters by all means. Let's just get a taunt up here. Look at that. Counterattack. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to gain turn meter there. We're going to call Hera to assist. There's the expose. Boom, boom. Look at that. It's great. It's fantastic. It goes pretty quick. Alright, here we go. Here's going to be our last battle. And I can really auto this if I wanted to, but I just wanted to show you all how this stuff goes. Alright, there's no debuffs, but there's his taunt right there. Let's throw this on him. There we go. Tenacity up, defense up, all that good stuff. Alright, let's call Chopper this time. He's going to gain the turn meter. Alright, and let's get that stuff off of him there. There we go. I'm just going to finish him off. So there you go. There's a look of the Pheonix squad. Again, this is what you want to do in order to get Grand Admiral Thrawn, Emperor Palpatine, which are going to be needed for the R2-D2 event, along with 3 other Empire characters. Now, Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader. I would also highly, highly recommend TIE Fighter Pilot. Here's the thing. Those 4 characters outside of Emperor Palpatine, 4 of the 5 characters are all going to be used in ships. So you might as well go ahead and farm them. You might as well go ahead and level and gear them. Plus, they're going to be needed for 7-star R2-D2, which is going to be needed later for a Hero's Journey event for CLS, so Commander Luke Skywalker. But again, thanks everyone for stopping by. Hopefully we get to see you again next time. Don't forget, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. We're just starting out here, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a comment below, and until next time.